What's up? We back on the block again. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in on the block today. I have a special guest with me today, Mr. Producer, Mr. Ddiltz from Dallas, Texas. How you doing, Mr. Diltz?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming to the block today. Why don't you start off
Yeah,
telling the people who you are and what you do?
yeah. My name's Ddiltz Productions. I'm a producer, artist, and engineer out of Dallas, and I do quite a bit. I'm an artist myself, so I release my own music, but I also produce for other artists and mix and master for them as well.
Okay. So you do your own music, you say? You
Y- Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. All right. So which one are you more into? Are you more into doing your music or producing music for others?
I like to say I'm a full-time producer and a part-time artist, so definitely I primarily produce for other people.
Okay. All right. So what what moment in your life did you realize you wanted to be a producer? Was that something that started out as a kid?
No, well, music's always been a part of my life. I originally wanted to be a film composer, like all throughout high school and stuff, and I went to college to study that a little bit. But it wasn't
Mhm.
until quarantine started back in 2020 that I decided I wanted to try out producing. So I bought me a little MacBook and Logic Pro, and it just is history from there. I fell in love with it.
Okay. So you spent most of your quarantine time doing beats and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
all of
So
it.
you wasn't really affected by COVID quarantine.
No, not really. My household got hit with it the first summer in 2020, but other
Uh-huh.
than that, yeah, I have no problem staying inside because I kind of like live in my little producer cave.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good that it wasn't that effective on you. You was able to use that time wisely to be creative. That's dope. Yep.
Yeah, if
So
anything, it was kind of beneficial.
yeah, 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 that's good. So how many years did it take for you to like get your first uh what I say beat that you was able to produce for selling?
It took about, let's see, I started in April of 2020, and I didn't sell my first beat until about August or September of that year. I sold an exclusive to a guy in England that I met through Facebook. His name is Tad on all platforms, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a conversation with an artist that I was networking with. I had just met at the time, and he kind of gave me the talk that I can't keep giving my beats away for free. Like I got to put a price tag on them, and I never even thought of it that way. Like I didn't know how all of that worked and how the business worked. But as soon as I had an artist tell me you need to be charging for your beats, I was like, okay, let's look into it. And I kind of like did some research on what other producers were charging, like on BeatStars and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of went from there. So I'd say it probably took about a half a year or so, and that
Yeah.
was just time spent making beats. Like I had to figure out how to actually make a beat for an artist to get on, because at first artists would tell me I can't rap over that. There's too much going on, and that was from like my classical training of like trying to make this grand like symphony of a beat, and then I realized, oh wait, they just want simple. They just want simplicity,
Yeah.
and
So
that's when I kind of started learning that.
yeah, so when you started and you wasn't charging, was it a reason why you wasn't charging? Did you not think that it was good enough to charge, or you just didn't want
It
to
was a few,
charge?
yeah, it was a few factors. One, I didn't, um, I didn't think I was like established enough
Mm-hmm.
to actually put a price tag on it. And two, I didn't even know what to charge. I was like, well, how much should I charge for a beat? You know, that PG Brown, the guy that told me about that, he told me, well, like research what other people are charging, listen to their quality and how much they're charging, and then it kind of just fell into place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I noticed like a lot of artists they use like YouTube beats and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
what are your pros and cons on using a YouTube beat against
Oh,
getting a custom beat made by you?
so I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to it. The pros would be, I mean, one, the obvious, it's free. I mean, you can go download any beat you want. Um, Also, it's great for artists that are literally just starting out, like ground zero artists, because one, they probably don't have a budget to be paying for production and promo and all that kind of stuff. So it just gives them a chance to actually practice going to the studio, recording, putting it on SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever. And it's a free way for them to start building kind of a following because I mean you can still put it out on SoundCloud and YouTube and you can still get people to go listen to it. But that's where the cons come is you can't monetize off of it. So um, the pros and cons of coming and getting a custom beat or even just getting a lease in general is now you can actually make money off your music, even if it's only $5 a month. That's still $5 a month that you're starting out with, and it can only go up from
Mm-hmm.
there.
Right. So with what would like a custom beat? What kind of price range would a custom beat run? Like if you was to customize a beat for someone, what are your starting prices for that?
So I charge 200, and that includes exclusive rights. So you're getting a one-on-one personalized experience with me to where like I have artists all the time. They'll just sing a melody, or they'll sing or rap something off the top of their head, and then like I'll instantly start hearing a chord progression over it. So you're getting a beat tailored to you. $200 for exclusive, which if you go to BeatStars, it's pretty rare that you'll see a $200 exclusive. And
Mm-hmm.
starting out, it's $100 for the first time, so you get 50% off for your first session.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually a good price. Cause I be seeing
Yeah,
some ridiculous prices on them beats, like for
right.
exclusive. Yeah, I seen an exclusive on there one time, like 500. Then
Oh yeah,
I know Rod Wave beats be like 1,500 for exclusive.
right.
I was like, wow, yeah. So where you are now in your career, if you was to go back maybe 10 years, is there anything that you would do differently
Oh,
now?
if I could go back in time 10 years,
Yeah.
um, yes and no. I'm kind of one of those people that I wouldn't change the past because the past makes me who I am now. But I would definitely would have wanted a computer and Logic Pro 10 years ago because there's no telling how crazy I'd be at it now.
Right.
Because
Right.
back 10 years ago, I wanted to be a composer, but I wanted to compose like sheet music for orchestras and band and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I had no real way of actually getting that stuff out other than just writing it by hand on sheet music. So like back in the day, that would have been crazy to be able to stack like 20 violin sections and Logic and play with that. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I noticed you said that you had started out film. Have you done anything with film or it's just been
No,
music?
yeah, the whole film composer thing was always a dream, and I went to college for about a year for it, but I never really got any like hands-on experience with that other than just education.
Okay.
So yeah, I learned a lot about composition and music theory and stuff like that, kind of the whole college
Okay.
thing.
Okay. So have you had the opportunity to work with any major artists as far as producing?
No, not yet. All the artists I work with right now are independent.
Okay. So would you say you have had any good accomplishments with an independent artist that you can say like your production just blew them up?
Not quite. But on that note, I definitely have established a sound with multiple artists, like
Mm-hmm.
a distinguishable sound, to where when people hear it, they know that I was on the beat and they know who the artist is. Um, but yeah, like I haven't like reached a million streams or anything like that yet. But um, I think the building a sound is definitely an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Were you inspired by anybody to do beats? Like,
Not particularly. I mean, other than like the great, like like the great producers and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, there wasn't like a moment where I was like, man, I want to produce. I kind of just experimented with it because I knew we were gonna be on lockdown. I knew I was gonna
mm-hmm.
be, kind of bored without a computer, so I just got a computer, started messing around, and it was just the feeling of like, wow, I can create anything I want, sound wise, through the software, and that was kind of my inspiration.
You make it seem like it's so easy though, and it's really not because
Yeah.
I tried it and I just can't. I'm not good at that. Like I tried it so many times. You make
Well,
it
see,
look like it's so easy.
the easy part for me is the actual composing of the music. Uh, but I did struggle at first with actually learning the software. Like it was
Hmm.
very overwhelming because I didn't know what anything did. I didn't know what I was able to do and what I wasn't able to do. But that just came with the hours. Like I mean, I would literally spend days upon weeks just on YouTube. Like, how do I do this? What can I? How do I do this? And it came easier, but the only reason it looks easy is just because there's been so many hours poured into it.
Okay, so you got most of your training from YouTube.
Oh yeah, yeah. YouTube was my best friend starting out.
Yep, I don't watch YouTube. I still can't get it. That's just not for me. I guess.
I mean, even like TikTok and Instagram, just scrolling through and seeing like tutorial or shortcut videos. I've been on Logic for almost 2 years straight, and I'm still learning new things about it or
Hmm.
about just producing in general.
So Logic, that's been your only source that you used.
I messed around with Fruity Loops a little bit, and I've played around with Pro Tools as well. But Logic's definitely the most comfortable for me, just because I put so many hours into it.
Okay. So, what would you say would be a good, how I want to put it, like s- starting off making a beat? Like, what's the good, like the editing that you put on that beat to make it sound like a actual beat?
Do you mean like my mixing process?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. So whenever I mix a beat, I always start with the most important elements first, which are the kick and 808 to me. So what I'll do is before I even arrange the beat, like just whenever I have my 8 bar loop laid out, I'll go through and I'll solo the 808 and the kick, and I'll make sure that they're peaking at a good volume, make sure that they sound good together and that they're not clashing. And then from there, I just kind of blend everything in. I just add everything in one by one and level it in. And if it needs EQ'd or compression, if it calls for it, then I'll do that. And I've noticed starting with the kick in 808 does wonders because it's the most important part. It's where all the thud and the boom and the bounce comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get that right first, then blend everything, then you're set.
So, do you use loops with that, or you just customize it, just piece
I
by
do
piece?
I do both. Sometimes I have producers and other independent producers that'll send me loop packs, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw some drums on it, and then we'll split the sale 50-50. But most of the time, I make my own loops.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, do you have any loop packages out that you sell those too, or is it just the beat you
Um,
do?
I do have one loop pack that I made. Like, it was a little less than a year ago. Um, it's on my Beat store for purchase. I think it's like $5 or something like that. but I do something different now to where I have a texting service, like a kind of like a mass email service, but it's for text messaging, and I have a whole producer list on that, and I'll send out weekly samples, usually about 10 samples a week, and then they can use that for their beats, and then we split everything down the middle. So I don't charge for those. I just send them out and basically do everything split sheets.
So that's like and your like people that subscribe to you, you
Hmm.
that's what you give them like every month just for being a subscriber.
Yes, ma'am. Every week.
Okay, okay. So that's good. That's good. Give the people something to. Yeah, that's like a reward. Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You got to give them a
Uh
reason to
huh.
subscribe.
Yep. So is there anything that you proud of as far as beats, or have you had any accomplishments with your music that you're proud of as of today?
Um, Nothing crazy big. To me, I'm one to celebrate all the small wins. So, like
Mm-hmm.
even if someone buys the cheapest lease on my beach store, to me, it's a win. So yeah, I'm really just more. I'm proud of the fact that I'm actually building a brand and a presence, and that I'm actually like building a sound one on one with artists, because a lot of artists will tell me I'm their go-to producer. They don't shop for beats anymore. If they need something
Mm-hmm.
done, they just come straight to me. So to me, I'm pretty proud of that.
Okay, so you got like a fan base already that no, they don't want you nobody to make their beat but you.
Yes, man.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's what it's about, building like clients and stuff. People that just want to work with you. Yeah,
Right, and that comes in with building the relationship with them as well.
yeah, yeah.
'Cause there's a
Hmm.
lot of artists like we have a friendship. It's not just business.
Yeah, that's cool. So I met you through my friend Jay
Jay Nitz?
Jay Nitz. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's my brother.
yep. He introduced us. I know him from way back in the day. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I see y'all be doing a lot of tracks together too.
So yeah, that's one of the artists I was telling you about. Like I'm his go-to, but we're not just business related. Like we'll call and just FaceTime, just chat about whatever a lot.
Yeah, that's good music too. I love his music. I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. Yep. So like what kind of advice would you give to someone that's looking to learn how to make beats? What would you say, tell them about the process of going at it?
Um, Honestly, I think my biggest advice would, and I know this is cliche, it probably sounds cheesy, but it's literally don't give up, because it doesn't happen overnight, especially if you're just starting out. Like if you don't know anything about music or producing, period, you're gonna have to put in a lot of hours, and it can get discouraging sometimes whenever you spend, hours upon hours making these beats and no one's buying them. Um, it's just a matter of not giving up. That's how you win the race.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
just
stand.
stay at it,
Yeah. Keep
and
going.
and,
Don't quit.
and that consistency. I mean, it's one thing to be consistent, but you have to be consistently improving. So, like, I would say, try to learn something every day, try new things, collaborate, listen to other people and what they have to say. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's going to help you, elevate.
Okay. Yep. So elevation. So tell everybody where they can go and subscribe and find your music, your beats, all that good stuff.
Um, so my name on social media is all consistent. It's Ddiltz Productions, Ddiltz being one word. Um, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, um, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music. And as far as my beats, I'm working on getting my own website built this year. But for now, I have a beat store that you can find in any bio of my social platforms. So like my Instagram bio has it, Facebook bio, all of that.
Okay. And with 2022 just coming in, is there any projects or anything you're working on that we can look forward to in
Oh yes,
2022?
several of the. Speaking of Jay Nitz, we're working on like five. I don't know if he's in here right now. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're working on like 5 or 6 projects for the year. Um, I got my boy Tad out in England that we're about to release the project next month, and then of course I want to do my own personal stuff too. I'm kind of looking into gravitating into other genres, so like electronic and lo-fi and stuff like that, to put out as my own personal for my own personal artist page.
Okay. So is that's gonna be on like all the social networks, like everywhere music is, they'll be able to find these.
Yes, man.
Okay, that's good. So bring your price range back through us one more time for the just in case somebody missed it, and
Yeah,
like let us know what your uh basic is and your exclusive.
yeah. So I have two options. You can either get a beat that I've already made on my store, or you can come directly to me and we work on a beat one on one, like a custom beat. And for the beats in my store, there's different lease options available. So I have MP3 lease for I think it's $40, Wave lease for 80, track out lease where you get the stems for 150, and then an unlimited license for 300. And this year I actually took the exclusive rights option off my beat store, and that's mainly because I don't really want to push exclusive rights on my beat store unless that artist has a big buzz going, because I found that I can generate more business off of leases. So if an artist wants an exclusive, they would come to me to get the custom one, which is where I do give them exclusive rights, and that's $200 regularly, or $100 for the first session.
Okay. So I hope everyone heard that. He got good beat sale. And that's a real good deal for those exclusive beats. That is just like it's yours. So that's the best option for you to buy the exclusive. And so I think that's gonna be all I have for you
Yeah,
today. It was a pleasure having you stop by the block to chat.
yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and y'all be sure to go follow Ddiltz on all platforms and link with him to get those custom beats made. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like and share. And until next time, we'll see y'all again next Saturday, 6 o'clock. Peace.